Hello again and welcome to Shed Talk, my weekly magazine video series looking at the keeping, breeding and showing of cage birds with a particular focus on the exhibition style budgerigar. And in this episode what I thought we would do is check on that youngster. I know there's been a few people who've commented about the youngster that had splayed legs, hoping that it gets well or at least improves in terms of its leg condition. So in this episode what we're going to do is we'll remove the correction band that I put on. If you haven't seen that video, it's about, or where I did that in a video, a couple of videos ago, you can go back and have a look. I think it's called Fixing Splayed Legs. So do go back and have a look at that. Both the chicks in that cage number 5, have now jumped the nest box actually, so including the one with the splayed legs. So we're going to get that chick out and we will remove, like I say, remove the band, the correction band, and see how the legs look. If they still look a little bit, or if it's still a little bit unsteady on its legs, I might put it back on for another couple of days, but we'll have to wait and see. But before we do that, the chicks that were in cage number 1 have now been fully weaned. So we will have a look at those before we put them into the nappy cage. As always though, if you do enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. All the likes help the video in terms of getting it more widely viewed on YouTube. If you're not yet a subscriber, please do subscribe to the channel. All the subscriptions help the channel to grow, and of course if you want early notifications on any future video, don't forget to hit the bell. Right then, what we'll do is we're going to get the 2 youngsters out from cage number 1 and we'll have a look at those now. Both birds are opaline, as you can see, and both birds are cinnamon as well. One is a cinnamon grey-green opaline, and that's the hen. So she stands very upright, doesn't she? Got a nice little stance about her. Still very young, of course, so still a bar head, and looks quite heavy. When I say that, I mean if you look at the way the rise across above the top of the head is quite smooth. I tend to find in most cockbirds this is slightly more pronounced, and you can probably see that on the left with the another grey. So this time a normal, sorry, not a normal grey, but a opaline cinnamon grey, and this is a cockbird, as I said. You can see they're slightly higher in this across the top of the head. He's got very wide, nice bit of shoulder on him, and at the moment showing a little bit of width between the eyes as well. He's got a lot of developing to do. So reasonably happy with both of these. I'm happy with the hen because she stands quite well, and both of them are relatively settled in the show cage, which is also quite a nice sign. And already the cockbird, so the grey, starting to show it's going to have some spots on him as well. So overall, given how young these 2 birds are, the hen is just starting to get a little bit upset, probably because I'm talking too much now. As I say, that particularly the cockbird looks quite nice. The hen, well, we shall wait and see. I'm sure she'll get back up on the perch in a minute, hopefully. Should we try and give her a hand or let her sort herself out? There you go. She's up with the cockbird now. Anyway, so these 2 opaline cinnamons. Well, now we'll move these into the nappy flight with the others. Both of these 2 birds were being a bit of a pain in the cage actually. They're all quite old, but you might remember they were very reluctant to come out of the nest box and kept going back in, and I was really worried that they might upset the hen who has just started laying again. But I think the first of her eggs looks full, so touch wood, hopefully they'll be all right. Anyway, let's get these 2. Again, as always, let me know your thoughts on these 2 birds. I do have a soft spot for opaline, as those of you that watch the channel for a little while will know. But I prefer an opaline, a nice opaline normal light green. I think they are probably the most attractive of the opalines. Anyway, as I say, these can now go into the nappy flight. Well, I've moved those two youngsters now into the nappy flight from this cage here. Hopefully this will give this hen a little bit of a rest right now, because I think I said it earlier, she has started laying again, and with the youngsters keep going into the nest box, there was a real chance that either the eggs were going to get, you know, broken or at the very least addled. So touch wood, those eggs will be okay, and this hen will now have a bit of peace and quiet and be able to sit on, or continue laying and sit on the eggs without the chicks constantly disturbing them. What I'll do now then is we will get the young bird with the splayed legs out of cage number 5, and we'll have a look and see if we've managed to solve the problems with its legs. Let's hope so, eh? Let's hope so. If not, we can always put the band back on, can't we? Right, let's get them out now then. So here is the youngster. I've got him out, as I said. Looking a little bit more feathered up than we saw him in the last, or the last time we saw him. Definitely going to be I would say a light green, might be a dark green, but I would say a light green looking at it. So a light green. See the band at the bottom. What we're going to do now is we're just going to snip that, and hopefully when we remove it completely, the legs will be fixed. So I've undone one side, and this leg looks like it's back in the right position, and so does the other one. I'm just going to snip the rest of it off, and then we'll see how well he stands. So I've now taken the correction off completely. It seems to be standing okay. I'll see if I can turn it over so you can have a look at the legs. And I think, touch wood, we have caught this in time. As you can see, she stands reasonably well. Let's see if it will perch on the side of this little box thing here. No, she wants to jump inside. She will perch on my hand though. Yeah, I think we might be okay with this. I'm going to pop it back into the cage, but I will keep an eye on it. There's still a little bit of legs being a bit wide, so I will keep an eye on it, make sure that it doesn't revert back. If it does, I'll probably put the band back on for a little while. But I'm reasonably pleased with what we've done with that in terms of correcting the legs. Touch wood, eh? Let's hope she carries on, or it carries on. Right, let's get it back in. Well, like I say, let's hope that that youngster has been fixed, that the legs have been corrected. They look better than they did originally anyway. I'm sure you'll agree that they certainly look better than before we put the band on. It certainly seems to be perching okay. So only time will tell now whether that's been a permanent correction or whether the legs will begin to splay again. As always, let's hope so. Let's root for this youngster. I know most people are. So before I go, what I thought I would just say that I've got a bit of a dilemma. There's in the main flight, I've got a slightly older cockbird in there who is one of my nicer birds, and it's probably, you know, if he does breed again, this will almost certainly be his last year. Well, he's paired up in there with a light green hen, and I've seen them mating. So they've clearly clicked inside the main flight. And then in here I've got in cage 3 where we've got the, again, a slightly older dominant pied that I wanted to get something off of, is actually not showing a lot of interest in the hen. And if anything, he looks like he's old, I suppose, is what I'd say. A bit like a lot of us, and it looks like he's doesn't really want to do too much. He's looking quite lethargic. I wouldn't say he was ill, although it might be a little bit like that. And so that's that cage there, and then the cage below it, I've got his daughter in there, another dominant pied, and she's been in that cage with a cockbird for quite a while now, and she's shown no interest in the nest box whatsoever. They sit next to each other, but other than that, I've not seen any mutual feeding. There's certainly been no mating going on in there, and when I put the soft food in, you know, there's no tolerance of each other over the soft food as you might expect if they had paired up. So I'm wondering whether I ought to try that love pairing in the flight and swap it with one of these. Let me know your thoughts whether you would do that or not. So I certainly, at the moment, I'm inclined to get that bird out and swap it with one of these pairs. I'm not sure which one at the moment. Probably it could be either of them in all honesty. But that's my current gut feeling. But again, let me know in the comments what you would do, whether you would swap them over. Right, like I say, that is just about all we've got time for in this episode. So until the next one, please do stay safe and enjoy your birds.